Focused a lot at youth voices at this summit, and let us meet a Canadian voice very prominent there. Océanne Kahanyshyn-Fontaine is with me this morning, 17 from Edmonton, and very impressively one of just 6 delegates chosen to represent a youth group and report at COP26. And we're going to find out exactly what they did, but there she is. So why don't I say good morning, Océanne, and thank you for being my guest today from Glasgow.
Thank you so much.
I'm looking forward to hearing all about this. First of all, how has the experience been for you so far?
It's been really amazing and very, very enlightening. So honestly, I wouldn't trade this experience for anything in the world. It's been so amazing, and I'm so honored to be here.
Enlightening, I'm going to come back to about what you've learned so far, but honored to be there. As I was saying, what a prestigious fact to have been named one of just 6 students from around the world to present a list of not hopes, you were really clear in the wording, demands of the world. What have you put forward?
And so I'm with a youth group called Decarbonize Decolonize, and we're a program that is partnered with Taking It Global. And so the goal of this program is to provide a platform for youth under the age of 18 to have a voice and really be able to discuss with each other with students from all over the world. So it's a very important program. Luckily for me, I've been able to participate. And through hard work and luck, I was chosen to be one of the students to come to COP.
And come to COP, not just come to COP and attend, but to be right there as that list, as your report was presented. What were the main points that you're looking for from the delegation there?
We focused on, because this is students that wrote this, so we're over 35,000 students in 54 countries, and so we all got together to write this. So really this year we decided to focus on the 4 goals of COP. And what we wrote was how to solve these issues and describe how to perform these goals through the perspective of youths. So it has to do a lot with greener transportation, education, change to our curriculums, and more.
Transportation is the theme today, so it's right in keeping with one of your main issues. Based on what you're looking for, what you're hearing coming from the official delegations and from the world leaders, do they match? Are you hearing from them what you're wanting to hear?
The thing with politicians and global leaders, they will say what they think will make you satisfied. And so it's not often very sincere, unfortunately. And also because we're such young people, we're often not taken very seriously. And so it's really hard to have an honest conversation where we can actually have an open dialogue and solve these issues and give the youth perspective that's actually considered.
So are you disappointed they're not considering your list of important issues, taking that seriously?
I'm disappointed, but we're not surprised, of course. This is something that I've said a lot during my time here at COP. I'm disappointed, but I'm not surprised, because we all know that these are politicians who have the power, and a lot of them have the financial capacity to be doing this, and which they haven't. They aren't already. There's not nearly enough investment into our educations and in greener, sustainable energies. And so, unfortunately, we were not surprised. We were kind of thinking that that's how it's going to look. But we're also very hopeful, because we're not only talking to politicians and global leaders, we're talking to people in the streets who are joining us in marches, and those are really the people who are giving us hope that things will change.
That's interesting. Although listening to Barack Obama, he spoke directly to young people at the summit and said, don't ignore politics, because to make the change that young people are looking for, you do have to work through the political process. So when you say disappointed, is there a level of disappointment with the summit, with the world leaders, with Canada? Where chiefly does that rest?
I think all around, really. It rests with everyone, all the adults who have been clearly not taking their roles as leaders to the degree that youth would like to see. And I think Barack Obama had a good point. We have to be invested in politics and climate change, but we already are. Most of us really are. It's just we feel like our voice doesn't matter because that's what we've been told our whole lives. So it's not that we aren't involved in these discussions, it's that we don't have the platform to be involved in these discussions. And we all have the will. That is all you need. But there's also, in terms of, for me, it was luck and hard work that got me here. And if I hadn't, I would not have lived this experience or thought that I had the ability to. And so it's really important for youth to know that you have a voice that is worth being heard, no matter what any adult has ever told you.
You did have that voice. You did present this list of demands at COP. And I'm wondering, even though there is, as you've expressed so well, the level of disappointment, still 2 days to go. They're looking at a draft agreement right now. Is there anything that could happen between now and then that would really flip that disappointment into more optimism, more satisfaction?
I think that I will not hedge my hope on these politicians and global leaders. Like I said, it's just they're not trustworthy enough. They haven't given us enough reasons to trust them. And so I will put my faith in the people that I see every day in the streets walking past me in their cars or on their bikes. And those are the people who I believe will actually care about change more than political profits or gain. So it's really important to keep in mind that, yes, I'm disappointed in global leaders and politicians, but I'm not disappointed in youth or people that I see every day. Those are the people that I will put my trust in to change.
Okay. You said it's been an enlightening experience. What have you learned there that you can take back home? I noted you're from Edmonton, Alberta. You know, the things that you're fighting for, that's in some ways a very difficult message to convey where you live. So what do you do? What do you take home from there to continue your campaign here?
Well, it's really important to keep in mind that Alberta and Canada right now are very divided on this subject. And especially for me, I'm in the hot spot. I'm right in the middle, living in Alberta, the home of the oil and gas industry in Canada. But there are alternatives, and people often forget that this isn't a complete switch where one day to the next, all these jobs are going to be canceled and all these projects. It's a transition. And unfortunately, this transition should have been happening years ago, but it's not. And so, yes, it will, for some people, have a negative effect, but for the greater good, it will have a positive effect. And we can't just think of ourselves. We have to think of our communities, of our countries, and of the global community, which is who really matters in this discussion, because it can't be done without everyone involved.
You spoke to CBC News before you left, Océanne, and I was noting one of the things that you said in terms of what you hope would come from the conference for you. Going to represent Canada, going to have an impact, and in your words, hopefully I'll get to change the world for the better. That was the aspiration heading over to COP26. What do you think you've accomplished by being there?
I think I've accomplished a lot in terms of myself. I definitely have a lot more faith in myself, a lot more trust, and a better understanding of who I am. And so I'm really grateful for that, because now I have the confidence to know that I am capable of being and doing so much more than I thought. Now I'm able to partake in protests. I'm able to go up to a politician and say, please hear me out. I have something to say. And it's been an amazing experience. And yes, I do believe I have impacted the world, or at least my friends, for the better, who I've met through this experience. I don't think I've changed the world yet. I'm still working on that one. But I'm sure that one day I will achieve that. Well,
Listening to you, we'll be watching. There's a lot of great start underway. Thank you very much for talking to us. Really appreciate it, Océanne. Enjoyed the conversation.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you.
Thanks.